The full Nostalrius story, how we got to Classic from Nost. Okay, see how good this is.
It's been 5 years since Nostalrius shut down its vanilla WoW private server.
Yep.
And I think it's finally about time to talk about the reasons why. What happened behind the scenes.
Okay.
Why did Nostalrius shut down? And how this all eventually led to Classic. So let's go.
Okay. The Nostalrius team did do a lot.
So for those that don't know me, I'm Nano. I was part of the
know you.
Nostalrius core team, one of the 5 people who helped to lead the Nostalrius project.
I had IRL friends that played on Nostalrius, and they tried to get me to play on the server. I never actually did do it, but I was like really, really, really strongly considering playing on Nostalrius. And whenever I was actually like really thinking about it, I started streaming and I just got busy doing that instead. No, I never did. I have never played on a private server before. I swear to God, literally never played on a private server.
And if you're not familiar
Might surprise
with what
you, but there it is.
Nostalrius is, well, I'm going to let somebody you're probably a little bit more familiar with explain it for me.
Okay.
Today we're going to be talking about Nostalrius. Now, if you guys don't know what Nostalrius is, it's a vanilla...
This is my... Holy shit. This is a video I did back in like 2006. I remember doing this video. This was the day after this video came out, or the day before this video came out. I had like a tooth pulled. And whenever it came out, and I heard about it, I was like, fuck, I have to make a video about this. And I remember like thinking to myself, okay, I'm going to make this video and just get it out there. And 2006, it's 2016. That's what I mean to say, okay? Everybody knows what I meant to say. All right, chill out.
WoW private server, which means that it's not hosted by Blizzard, it's not owned by Blizzard, and it's also not condoned by Blizzard.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're probably wondering what made Nostalrius different than the hundreds potentially of the other private servers that have existed.
It was actually good.
Well, the number one thing and the biggest thing that comes in the world of MMOs in general is, do you have players? And Nostalrius certainly did.
They had a lot of people playing the game.
At the 1 year mark of our server, we had over 130,000 active accounts. That means accounts that have logged in once during that month prior.
That's nuts, man. That is fucking nuts. 130,000. And the thing is with that is that it was going up. It's not like it just stopped or whatever. It was going up even at that time. Like Classic WoW, even now, Classic WoW is doing really well. More than Retail WoW? No, it's not more than Retail WoW, but it was a lot.
And capped at 13,100 concurrent players on the server.
Wow.
On a single server.
That's nuts.
At a single time. We had over 2 million characters created in total over the course of that 1 year mark in the Nostalrius Legacy. And for those who are really interested about what level of our GM work went into running a server of this size, take a look at these numbers. And absolutely,
that's more than Blizzard. Well, because the number is not 0, it's obviously more than Blizzard. Look at that. You know what's so funny to me about this is that you have these private servers, and I understand why it's easier for the private servers, because they don't have as many limitations. They can just delete your account, and there's no accountability for them if they like delete somebody's account unfairly. But the thing with Blizzard is that they just let these fiends run wild and fuck the game in the ass. Can't Blizzard also do that? Yeah, but they have like more red tape and, you know, like fucking rules and stuff. But like, how do you ban that many fucking people in a year? I genuinely would not be surprised if Blizzard banned less people than that. I'm not even kidding. Literally not even kidding.
Absolutely staggering amount of people decide they want to spend their time on Nostalrius. And so why would they do this? What was it about Nostalrius that brought people back to playing this game?
Yeah.
Going out of their way and playing a quote-unquote illegal version of World of Warcraft. Well, many at that time had felt that the retail version had stepped away from the core values of what made an MMO, and they wanted to try again.
And by a lot of people, he means literally fucking everybody. Like, the Nostalrius got popular. All you have to know about how people felt about Nostalrius compared to Retail WoW is the fact that Nostalrius got popular during WoD. Okay? So just guess how people felt about it.
Again, to capture the magic that existed in vanilla WoW, and they sought it out with Nostalrius. So then why did it shut down? Well, as our friend Asmon mentioned, private servers aren't exactly legal. We didn't have a right to run a server using Blizzard's copyrighted material for the Warcraft.
That is true.
Technically, it's even against the terms of service, so they could have banned us from our retail accounts had they chosen to.
Yeah.
They did. But why did we shut down? There's plenty of private servers that keep on running. They get cease and desist orders from Blizzard and Blizzard's lawyers all the time. So what made Nostalrius different than the other dozens of private servers that ignored Blizzard? Well, we had a mission in mind. We created Nostalrius because we wanted players to have a place, a home that they could live and experience Classic all over again.
Yeah.
And we saw an opportunity with our massive player base to put into movement a mission to have Blizzard officially make.
They should have, dude, he should have released this on Easter. This is literally what happened. This is what happened with Jesus. Think about it. Think about it. The original sin was like fucking Wrath of the Lich King onwards. Nostalrius came in and it died to remove that original sin. And then it became resurrected as Classic WoW. Bro, this is the Easter motherfucking miracle. This is amazing. Oh my god, holy shit. Yeah, dude.
Their own version of WoW Vanilla. Now, we weren't the first people to come up with this idea of legacy servers, Blizzard-run legacy servers. It had been a question at many BlizzCons. In fact, the most famous quote about the legacy server movement happened at a BlizzCon. I'm sure you remember this.
Have you ever thought about adding servers for previous expansions as they were then?
Yeah, great idea.
No.
No.
And by the way, you don't want to do that either. You think you do, but you don't.
The funny thing, I always think it's so funny for me to see J. Allen Brack, because this was from like 2014, and since this moment, all of his hair has gone gray. It's like 5 years, basically, like it was six years. This dude, like, is fucking stressed, man. Like, I could only imagine, like, imagine being the fucking president of Blizzard. Like, every day, there's somebody else pissed off about you. You know, there's a new hashtag of people trying to cancel you. And, you know, it doesn't matter if you wear what flag you wear on your fucking shirt. People still get mad about it. It's like, you literally can't win.
By the way, you don't want to do that either. You think you do,
but you don't.
You think you do, but you don't.
True.
Words uttered at the 2013 BlizzCon, a full 3 years prior to Nostalrius' shutdown, that proved those words false. Now, why am I bringing up you think you do, but you don't? It's been a
That's part of the story.
Horse for a long time that J. Allen was wrong about this. Well, it just proves a little bit about how we were feeling as a community, that Blizzard wasn't hearing us. And here we have Nostalrius with its millions of characters that don't officially, fully have a home to play on. And it was time.
And this is something I think a lot of people always thought, and I think they got this wrong. It was the idea that unless Classic WoW is more successful than retail, it's not a success. And people always put Classic WoW up against retail, where it's like, oh, well, Classic WoW has to get more viewers than retail. Classic WoW has to be better than retail or whatever. To me, it's very, very silly. I think that most people looked at, like, yeah, there are a lot of people that were right. Like, J. Allen Brack was right with a lot of people. But it doesn't mean that there aren't enough people out there to make Classic worth it. That's the difference.
For Blizzard to step up. So we created a petition on change.org that ended up having 279,000 people sign as a letter to Mike Morhaime and Blizzard Entertainment, asking them to again revisit the idea of legacy servers and start investing the resources that we knew Blizzard had into creating these original versions of the best MMO that's ever existed.
Yeah.
Remarkably, and to Blizzard's credit, they stepped up. They invited the
Imagine
Nostalrius
that.
team to go to their Blizzard headquarters, to their corporate executive boardroom, and to give a presentation.
Look at that. Look at that. There's J. Allen Brack on the left, the tall guy. Mike Morheim in the middle. Oh my God. I think that this is actually so fucking cool to me. I think this is one of the coolest things that Blizzard ever did. Is that Ian? Well, yeah, where is he? I don't see. Oh yeah, there is Ian. Yeah, he's in the striped shirt. Dude, he's happy. That's so cool. And there's a girl there too. I'm not sure who that is. I don't think she's in any of the videos, so I'm not sure. They did it for publicity? Well, and it worked. It was good publicity. That's the thing, is Blizzard used to do things for publicity, but it was good. It was like, oh, this is really cool. Let's see where this goes. Now they do something for publicity, and it's like, oh, we care about the rights of, whoever. And then someone's like, oh, yeah, well, what about Hong Kong? And then everybody likes that tweet, and Blizzard looks like idiots. You know what I mean?
On our server, and why legacy servers deserve more attention from them.
Yeah.
And so we did. A few months later, in June of 2016, the Nostalrius team headed over to Blizzard headquarters, and
man, that's so cool to me. That's so fucking cool to me, man.
Surprising fashion. I mean, let's be real. What dudes in 2016 weren't jamming to Katy Perry all the time, right?
I did the same thing.
Yeah, I mean,
like, don't act like you're better than him. I did the exact same thing, man.
But anyway, we met with
just guys
the most
being
important
dudes.
people we could have possibly met with to discuss legacy servers with.
Yeah.
We talked with Mike Morheim,
Yeah.
J. Allen Brack, Tom Chilton, at the time game director for
Oh,
WoW.
wow.
Ian Hazakostas, at the time associate game director for WoW, now current game director for WoW, as well as
Yeah.
the technical director, the global PR manager, and numerous.
Oh, the global PR manager. I'm sure that person hates me. Like, I'm sure a lot of the devs are pretty much neutral about me, or they think that I'm a dumbass or whatever. But the PR people, I'm sure they're like, why is it that the guy that streams our game, why is it that the guy that gets the most viewers streaming WoW is also the biggest fucking asshole? Like, what did we do to deserve this person? Like, why does it have to be, of all the people, why did it have to be him?
So we had our meeting, and everything would be great, right? Blizzard's just gonna make classic servers, and done.
Yep.
After that meeting, it was dead silence from Blizzard for quite a long time. In fact, J. Allen Brack even wrote a letter prior to BlizzCon 2016 saying Blizzard was not going to talk about legacy servers at all.
Yeah, I remember that.
BlizzCon. And it let us feel...
They put out the video, they put out that announcement, and then people still wore all of the Nostalrius t-shirts to BlizzCon, and they were still super pissed off about it.
Really defeated.
Mm-hmm.
We had invested our heart and soul in this meeting. And we had gotten really good feedback while we were there, but after we left, we heard nothing from Blizzard for months.
Sad.
Even after
Truly
we
sad.
to reach out. And so what were we supposed to
Truly
do at
sad.
that point? Were we just supposed to let the legacy server die?
True and sad.
Is the dream dead?
Yes, it is. It's
Well,
over.
We took things into our own hands.
No, we're not going to get Classic anymore. It's done. It's finished. We never got Classic WoW, and we never got a chance to go back.
And that's when the Elysium project happened. So we released the server code for the entire Nostalrius project to the Elysium team, including the player databases for both of our servers.
Oh,
And-
yeah. Because everybody thought Nostalrius went rogue. Because they gave... I forgot all about this story. Oh, my God. Yes. So Nostalrius, they didn't do anything with Classic WoW, so they gave all of their shit over to Elysium. And whenever Elysium got it, everything kept going even better than Nostalrius. There was no drama at all.
Now, I'm not going to go into the details of the Elysium project, Light Hope, the whole
Yeah,
private server
there's
history.
nothing-
I'm not going to go into that. That's a story for somebody else to tell at another time. But what I will talk about for the first time ever publicly is about the legal heat that the Nostalrius team faced from Blizzard.
Okay. The one person You know how, like, the phrase, a stopped clock is right twice a day? The one person who stopped Elysium from all of their bullshit, fucking Alex Central. If you guys remember Alex Central, Alex was right. And this guy was so, like, Alex Central was, imagine every private server player stereotype put all into one, multiplied by 10, divided by 3 to the, like, 500th power. And this was Alex. And Alex was he was like the spokesman for Classic WoW for like the first 2 years of this movement. It was really fucking funny. And everything was going great for Alex until he encountered a level 17 hunter out there in Duskwood, or not Duskwood, in Ashenvale. He was farming out in Ashenvale on his level 30 druid, and he encountered a level 17 hunter. And the level 17 hunter killed his level 30 druid. I'm not showing the clip because he's banned, okay? I'm not going to intentionally show the clip. But yes, he's a banned streamer technically, so I'm not going to show it. Anyway, he loses to the 17 hunter. And the one thing that he said is that the hunter potted, so it didn't count. And at this point, this was the turning point of Alex's career, right? Like, let's say it was going like this. After that, it was going like this. All right? Yeah, the guy fucking potted. And as soon as this happened, everybody started memeing on him, and he just started going off the deep end. And I remember, like, he got into a war with Towley. He got into a war with Stay Safe. He got into a war with S-Fan. He got into a war with me. He basically, and like, Alex and I used to be friends. And the reason why we stopped becoming friends is that I told them that I didn't think it was a big deal for them to start Classic WoW with 16 debuff slots. I swear to God. Like, this was the reason why we had a falling out, is that I didn't really think it was that big of a deal because Molten Core was easy anyway, and who cares? Like, no, I'm not kidding. I'm not joking. I don't think I ever told this story before. Yeah, so it was so fucking insane, man. And Alex was, Alex was a very interesting guy. But the one thing that he did do is he fucking exposed everything about this Elysium stuff. He exposed all of it. He was literally the Dark Knight. He was the Dark Knight that exposed the world to the dangers and the terrible things that this Elysium server was doing. Not even kidding. He was actually right.
For partnering with the Elysium Project and releasing our code into the wild.
Stopped clocks.
I personally had a private investigator hired to track me down by a legal firm that represents Blizzard.
That's exciting.
He called numerous people in my life, including my employer, my owner of my company, to confirm information about me so he could serve me papers at 10 p.m. on a Wednesday night, slamming and knocking on the door, freaking the crap out of my wife, and waking up my baby daughter in the next room.
Yeah.
The amount of pressure that Blizzard put on the Nostalrius team was immense. They tried to have us roll everything back, try to steal everything back from the Elysium Project if possible. They did not want Pandora's box to be opened.
Yeah.
They felt the Elysium Project, having the Nostalrius core and the number of players that were invested in that, was opening Pandora's box.
It was.
Now, what we didn't know behind the scenes is that Blizzard actually was starting to work on Classic at this point. And they were protecting their IP in a significant way because they were planning to have Classic be a legit game server.
Yeah, and like really with Blizzard, like obviously hiring some third party to like intimidate a guy and his like baby daughter, like yeah, that part's really bad, and that is bad. But like to be fair, Blizzard extended these guys the olive branch. And they thought everything was cool. Then these guys, you know, from their perspective, probably go rogue. And they give away all this stuff. Of course, Blizzard's going to be pissed off. I think that it's unreasonable to expect Blizzard not to be pissed off about that. I mean, really, like, I'd be pissed off too. Yeah, like, I'm not saying like what they did is totally all right, but you've got to keep in mind that these people that are doing this stuff are, these are a third party. 100% deserved. Yeah. I mean, I don't say 100% deserved, but they could have just fucking told them. The reason why they didn't tell them, my understanding, is that they never asked Nostalrius to keep an NDA. They never asked them to sign an NDA whenever they went to Blizzard. I think that's why. Blizzard should learn to communicate properly then. It's not Blizzard's responsibility to communicate properly. The idea that because Blizzard didn't communicate properly, that somehow rationalizes them dispersing their intellectual property to somebody else who's going to provide it illegally, I think that's a completely unreasonable perspective to have. It's a completely unreasonable perspective to have.
That they were going to provide, so they want to protect it more so than ever. But what we felt was big bad Blizzard coming down, bearing down on our necks, ready to chomp us.
That's the way I'd feel too.
Because we were getting in the way, and we were causing problems.
Yeah.
And so the whole story of the Elysium project, being the heir apparent for Nostalrius, and Nostalrius taking away the seal of approval, and that whole mess that caused a lot of drama, a lot of hatred towards
you guys are getting mad about that opinion that I had. I'm totally right. I think anybody who's above the age of like 20 and anybody who's ever had any sort of stake in something like this would know that I'm right. I know, obviously, like, the meta is Blizzard bad. This is the same thing. I remember whenever the Free Hong Kong thing happened. Do you guys remember whenever the Free Hong Kong thing happened and I said that it would be forgotten, and by the time BlizzCon rolled around, nobody would give a shit about it, and then everybody hated me for it, and I was right? It's the same thing. Company isn't allowed to lie. They're not lying. They couldn't have said, here, sign this NDA and we'll tell you an awesome secret. No, because they chose not to do that. It shouldn't be like, what is the logic behind they have to tell them, or somehow these people are justified in illegally distributing their product to other people with the intent of legally distributing their product? Like, how is that in any universe? How does that make any fucking sense? Like, that's spoken truly from somebody that has literally no stake in it. Said they sent a hitman. It's not a hitman, all right? And the guy's an asshole, right? It's not like it's only one side. But this is such an insane way to look at it, man. Blizzard's a big company. They can approach us legally, not sue the guy, not hire PIs to harass them. Well, they didn't know where the guy was. Like, I don't know exactly what it was, like, to track the guy down. Like, obviously there are better ways to handle it, but here's the way I look at it, is if you fuck with somebody and they're trying to work with you, and they extend an olive branch to you, and then you fuck them, then you shouldn't be surprised if they turn around and try to fuck you back. And you can get mad about that. You can be like, oh, well, they didn't have to do that. Oh, they didn't have to do that. Yeah, well, they didn't have to give them the fucking code either. One bad turn deserves another. I don't believe in this whole turn the other cheek shit. If somebody fucks with me, I fuck them right back as hard as I can. And I think that's the way most people think. Especially if you're a big company, especially if you've got money invested in this. It's like, I know, like, as people watching are like kids, right? But, like, this is a big deal for them. It's a huge big deal for them. And private investigator is like responding to a nut tap with beating someone to death, though? No, a private investigator is not responding to a nut tap of beating someone to death. It's not a nut tap. We're getting into arguments here. I want to move on past this in just a second, okay? But this is not a nut tap. This is them distributing the entire code for a massive game that they have literally millions of dollars invested in to another group of people that plan to distribute that illegally to compete with their existing business. That's not a nut tap. That's like a nut kick. Anyway, let's go back over. We're going to go to the rest of it.
Towards the Nostalrius project in general, this is a little bit more context for you. Now, you might say it's just a threat. Cease and desist orders happen all the time. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to go in legal jeopardy. That's something for you to decide when that happens to you. But when it happened to me, I look at my wife, I look at my daughter, I look at my job, and I look at my resources, which weren't that many. It wasn't worth it for me. And so we pulled away from the Elysium project in a big way.
I guess that's why. I didn't know that.
What we could.
See, everybody thought that Nostalrius pulled away from the Elysium project because they found out that Elysium was scamming people. That was the assumption, because Elysium had like a bunch of scams and like a bunch of stupid shit. I didn't know this was the actual reason.
We played nice with Blizzard, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
So after that, that was basically the end of the Nostalrius project. The 5 of us each kind of went our separate ways. Damon and Viper disappeared into
I think
oblivion,
Viper's still
essentially. Tyrael and Ithlian, I think, still play together today, which is great, and I went on my own way. I pulled back from the WoW private scene pretty heavily. I told my guild I was going to quit playing for now because my wife didn't want me to associate with it at all, which
not a
is
surprise,
reasonable given the fact that a private investigator banged on her door 2 days before Christmas.
Definitely not a surprise.
And yeah, it was a dark period for the classic WoW scene. But then,
not good.
Something pretty incredible happened.
Dude, I remember back in the BlizzCon right before the classic got announced, I actually thought that, because I knew, because it's like at BlizzCon, right? Every other BlizzCon is an expansion announcement. Pretty much. Like, that's the way that things usually turn out. And that year was BFA announcement. I thought we were going to get an expansion announcement. I think everybody knew that we were going to get an expansion announcement. But that was why I didn't think we were going to get it that year. I was like, there's no way that shit's going to happen. And then I remember they told me that shit in the Hilton lobby. I ran around the Hilton lobby. I was so happy, man. That was like, I'll never fucking forget that. It was me, Rich, Hodded, Jari, and the guy that worked at Blizzard that we worked with, who's a really, really nice guy. Doesn't work there anymore. Fuck.
I want to take a minute. And I want to talk about ice cream.
All right, so I'm going to stop here.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you some context for where I'm at. I'm sitting in a Starbucks in between my work and my home, where I would do some office work outside of my actual office because I have a sales job and I drive around and all that kind of stuff. So I'm watching BlizzCon in a Starbucks with my headphones in, and this dude says ice cream. And I start freaking out.
Yeah.
Ice cream is great.
Apparently, we were some of the first people outside of the company to know about it. And I remember whenever he started talking about it, I turned on my camera and I recorded the fucking live audience reaction of them announcing that shit. It was so fucking badass, man. So fucking... I never have uploaded it onto YouTube.
Ice cream is one of my favorite desserts.
Because I knew it was coming.
Personally, I love chocolate, and I love cookies and cream.
Me too.
Cookies and cream is actually my all-time favorite dessert.
Mine too, actually. And coffee ice cream. One or the other. It's hard to say.
But I understand that for some of you,
this is it.
Your favorite flavor is vanilla.
So a grown man sitting in a Starbucks watching an international convention
so fucking hype,
for a
man.
video game company.
That was so hype.
And he starts crying.
Yep.
Some dude who he used to really not like said vanilla.
He used to really not like said vanilla. Dude, I remember whenever it happened and the announcement for it, everybody was like hugging each other. It was like we just won World War II. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, it's over, guys. We did it. It's finally happening. We were so happy, man. We were so fucking... I remember it was like me and like Soda and like Ice Poseidon was there. He wasn't really as excited about it as we were. And like Mitch was there, Rekful was there, like everybody was there. And we were hugging each other. We're so happy. It was so great, man. Oh my God. It was It was a really good time. There's a number of videos about it actually on YouTube. I think Ice Poseidon has a video about it, and so does Wreckful. It was 4 years ago. Yeah, 4 years ago.
And this is kind of where I wanted to land. Because why would a grown man cry about a video game coming out? It doesn't make any sense, especially one that's already come out.
I remember, sorry, I'm pausing again. I remember Train and Mitch weren't there right then because they were in like a fight or something like that outside the lobby, like on the edge of the hotel. They were the only people that weren't there. Yeah, it was so fucking funny, man. Yeah.
Why am I having such a visceral emotional reaction to this game? And I think it's because
the Eye of Sauron falls down.
This game, for many of us,
The end of Return of the King
has been life for a long time. Some of my best friends in life I met in Azeroth, in World of Warcraft, the original version.
Yeah.
And I still have them today. I'm still raiding with a number of them. Today in Classic that I raided Naxxramas with in 2005. It's insane the amount of
That's what's so fucking cool about it to me. Like, that is what really makes me happy to hear. Is like, I'm not the only one who made friends at the very beginning. At the very fucking beginning, man. And I've kept up with those friends all these years. Like, that's what's so beautiful about MMOs. That's the one thing that I like. Every time that I see, like, you guys ever see those pictures on like TikTok, or I don't go on TikTok, but I'll see them on like Twitter and shit. And on Twitter where it's like, oh, these guys have been playing COD together for like 15 years, and it's like two fucking 32-year-old dudes, and they're just hugging each other. It just makes I love seeing those, man. I love fucking seeing those so much.
Relationships we can build in this world, and I just wanted to have it back.
Yeah.
And we got it back.
There it is.
Now, whether it was the same as it was back then is a whole different video, and maybe we'll get into that soon.
Yeah.
But man, I'm glad that Blizzard made Classic. It's been an incredible experience. And this story has been really cool. And it's not going to end here either. TBC is coming and new stories are going to be told, and I'm excited to do those as well. But I just want to take some time as we make this transition from Classic to TBC that I get to tell this story finally for the first time.
Yeah.
Of my experience being on the front lines of pushing for Classic to begin with. And
he was one of the first
ones.
I
wanted to also say thank you.
Yeah.
If you're watching this, if you've watched any in Nostalrius, if you played on Nostalrius, if you signed the petition, even if you didn't do any of those and thought that we were fools, I just want to thank you for taking the time to watch this story of mine.
It was such a magical time where, like, they shut down Nostalrius and everybody made videos about it, and then Mark Kern came out and he fucking took like a forklift of like all of the printed out names to Blizzard headquarters, and he fucking literally hand delivered them to the president. Honestly, like, you think about this story, take a step back, it's actually really fucking cool. It's such a great fucking story, man. I love it.
But also to be a part of this community of World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
And what it can mean to people.
Yeah.
So thanks for coming with me on this story.
You're welcome.
And learning a little bit more about this,
of course,
background in the stories about me. And I look forward to talking to you guys more soon.
know.
See ya.
Peace. Okay. That's a good video. I like it a lot.
Hey, so I normally end the video here, but I just want to say thanks again for watching.
Okay.
This is the first YouTube content I've ever created. I think as of right now, I have 1 subscriber on YouTube.
Really?
So if anybody checks this out, I really appreciate it. What I'd really love for you to do,
now.
You can like it, you can subscribe. That would be great. But if you could comment down below and give me some feedback, I would really love some constructive criticism, how I can make this better. I've been really hesitant to create any content for a long time because I've been really nervous about how it's going to be received. And I want everything that I put out to be of really good quality. So I would love to hear your feedback. Let me know how you would improve the video. Comment down below. And if you want to subscribe and see the next one, that would be great. So if you want more classic content, it's going to come. I'm not sure how quickly, but I want to make some videos and talk to you about how I'm thinking about classic and how we're moving to TBC. So thanks, guys. Comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one.
It was a good video. It actually was a good video.